Hi, everybody, and I want to say welcome to my first ever walkthrough. This is a big opportunity for me to share with you one of the cues that I've composed for the film I See Darkness, which is available on Tubi. Before I begin, I just want to give a huge shout out to Hank Orion, the director, and Myrat Bayram, the leading actor and producer of this film. I just want to give a huge shout out to you guys, in case you guys are watching this, just to say thank you for letting me be a part of your team. Thank you for out of millions of people that you might have encountered and talked with, that you chose me to be the composer and to score your film. And I really had a great time getting to know you guys. And this was an unbelievable experience. So thank you. Right. And out of all the things I was able to get out of the way, we're going to jump right in, and I'm just going to share with you my one of the cues that I've worked on. And without just talking too much, I'll just get right into it and just show you guys, and I'll break it down later on. And for this, I guess I just show you what's going on under the hood. The plugins I use mainly are a combination of Spitfire, Native Instruments, all the good stuff. But I guess I should just break it down. So basically, when I did this scene, the Bridge Drama Toolkit was really one of those essential tool libraries that really helped me when I was writing this cue. The cool thing about this is that I really do like the fact that with some libraries you have to modulate, you have to do all occur of a lot of dynamics when you're performing. There's modulation here, but not just that. The fact that like when you listen to the strings, they don't sound just your typical legato. You know, there's a bit of the way how they were sampled and performed. There's a bit of variety going on. So like if I just play this part for a second. It's just stuff like that. Those little movements. It's nothing really big or cinematic per se. It feels like it at first, or at least sounds like it. But it really comes down to those little movements that to me really helped me not just in my writing, but really trying to capture the emotion of the scene, emotion of the characters, emotion of what's going on, and adding sort of like a bit of like a wind effect. I'll show it right here. It's those little things really that to me spoke to me a lot when writing this scene. And yeah, it sounds very contextual, drony, but to me that's what fit the mood of what was going on. And it was one of those things that, you know, Hank and Myrat really did like and really were captivated when when I showed them this early demo. Well, not this demo, but other iterations before this, and they really did like the fact that it wasn't too spontaneous, or excuse me, not maybe not spontaneous, but I would say wasn't your typical cinematic. It wasn't like horns and so many strings and so many woodwinds per se. You know, they liked that it was sort of down to earth, is what they told me, and they wanted to keep, at least for this scene, they wanted to keep it that way. You know, they wanted me to understand that this was a point where like I mentioned, the feeling of loss and hope and despair was pretty, you know, consistent throughout, at least in this film. And I'm happy to say that, you know, just figuring those kinds of emotions out pretty much took me a bit of a journey. And it's pretty much, this whole cue right here is pretty much consistent from beginning to end. But instead of just repeating the same thing over, you know, I sort of change instruments from time to time. And one of the cool things about this was there was a bit of freedom when I was scoring this, you know. So as much as they liked the interpretation, they kind of were trusting me to give um, more emotion out of this. So when you're given more freedom, there's a bit of a good pro and a con, um, you know, to either side. The pro is, you know, as I just said, you know, more freedom means more time to experiment, or at least more time to get more in depth as you can. A little bit of the con is, at least in my experience, is that sometimes when you work with directors that spot, well, at least in this one, they just told me that they wanted this to happen, but it wasn't so much about, oh, we have this track we know we want you to listen to. No, they just, all they gave me was, here's the scene, this is what it is, this is the feeling we're looking for, and that was pretty much it. You know, that as vague as it was, well, not vague, but as well explained as it was, I just did my best with it, and like I mentioned, you know, that they were happy with it. And like I mentioned, I do change instruments to give more of a different vibe, and I guess you'll hear it from here. I think these guitar effects from, oh yeah, from Contemporary Drama Toolkit. Oh yeah, another library that also was, my goodness, I just, this thing blew my mind. I remember I got this like like I want to say a few weeks before I started scoring, but it was more, I took it more of a luxury. You know, I just liked from the examples from Spitfire they did, and I just bought it. I was like, you know what, I like it, I'll take it. And but I didn't realize when scoring this, wow, this to me at least was a game changer. So I'll just show you what I was doing here. It was like pretty much like repeating lines from what I did with the strings, but like I mentioned, it's just those little things that really, to me, that just took off. And it took me a while to kind of fully understand that, or at least understood it in the way and how I approached this, because like I mentioned earlier, I kind of rewrote this scene, this cue, actually a lot different. It had none of that, it had none, no melody or no hook, no anything. It was just pure drone. Like not even a progression per se. Like there was no strings. It was just pure drone, 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 and I just didn't like that. I thought it was too, in my opinion, too typical. I thought, nah, man, I heard this 1,000 times. So, like I mentioned, just adding those little tiny hooks really, to me, made all the difference. And I really did like the sound of the guitar. I really did like the fact that I was able to find another instrument, or at least another library per se, that was able to help me give that extra life in. And I'll just play a little bit of the second half again just to explain that part. So at least this is like, I want to say, just the repeating theme from what we heard from, I guess, in the cello side of things. When it was more deeper and more depressing. But like I mentioned, it was just one of those things that I really learned to sort of expand on a bit. As I was repeating those melody lines, I made the entire or orchestrated the entire string section. First violin, second violin, third violin, fourth, so on and so forth. Even with this short cue, it was, to me, it was just pretty much important that from beginning to end, it all fit. That was pretty much my main goal when scoring this cue, and just expanding upon the main theme that we just heard. For example, the Spitfire Studio Strings Professional, actually, in my humble opinion, is one of my favorite. To me, one of the best libraries they've have. And like I said, the fact that they were able to split the entire string section, from first violin, second violin, viola, cello, and bass, helped me pretty much expand the main theme again. And that's pretty much all there was to it. I try not to go over the top too much, because, like I said, they really wanted this scene and this cue to be very emotional and down to earth. And I just did my best pretty much to just to capture that. And just for example, like the cello here, I'll just play the cello part for just for the sake of purpose. As you can see here, I'm just pretty much, I pretty much, yeah, I messed with the modulation a lot. Just try to get cool performances out of it. Because you want the string section, or at least not just the section, but every individual player, to make the entire cue sound as real as possible or close to it. And I believe all of these, yeah, pretty much every string section has modulation. Um, whether it be violas or first or second violin. Like I said, it's all about pretty much trying to make every section as good as it could possibly get. And yeah, like I mentioned, this was a cue that, if I were to sum it up, it's pretty, well, at least to me, it was always about encompassing the fact that, you know, it's a broken world, and how that sounds like to me, this is what it sounded like to me. The cue, the name of the cue I gave this was I believe it was called "I Just Wanted to End." To me, I thought that was very fitting because when I scored this, it had no title. I just called it Q7 or 8. I forgot. Anyways, but there was a part where he whispers, I just wanted to end," and I thought that was the perfect title to give this cue because he does go on this emotional roller coaster, trying to find himself and trying to find who he is, not just as a person, but what's his purpose in life, pretty much. And just getting those little emotional details in, and just constantly just watching the scene over and over pretty much just gave me a new perspective of how to approach this. And like I mentioned, this was just one of those, it's one of the first few cues that I wanted to demonstrate for you guys. And I mean, unfortunately, I'm not able to show any of the clips, but I'm able to show you the music. I'm able to show, a bit of my thought process, what we were doing, the conversations, the thought process, and just how I approached it, and and what the end result came about of it. So yeah, in spite of this being one of the shorter cues, I know there was not really too much going on, but the fact that I felt this was one of the first cues that I felt comfortable in just sharing with you guys, as probably like a first episode or so. Just showing you, what I've been doing, what I'm up to these days, just sharing things behind the scenes, the conversations with me and the director, or my thought process of what I was going through, how I handled it, how I made these decisions. But yeah, like I said, it was a humbling experience. Just sharing this with you guys. Depending on what time or day you guys are watching this, but just the fact that I'm opening up myself a little bit more and more and more along the way. Sharing my experiences, and taking this journey on, I guess on YouTube. Like I said, all you can do is just learn and grow, and just do better as you go along. If you want to listen to the entire soundtrack, go visit my artist page, Tony Franco Jr. on YouTube, and I'll leave the link in the description down below. If you really did enjoy this video, please share this video, press the like button, leave a comment. That greatly helped me a lot in this journey, and just explaining my thought process. And thank you guys for sticking around on this very first episode. I truly feel blessed. That I was able to be given this opportunity, and I'll just play the cue one more time, and I'll let you go. All right, guys, take care.